let's all play What's My Line?
Will our first challenger enter and sign in, please?
Here is Churchill Downs, where they've been running the Kentucky Derby since 1875. And here come the fans and the fanciers of hoss flesh, 90,000 of them on a cold, windy day. General Duke has been scratched, but stablemate Iron Liege is running. Number 5 is Gallant Man, Willie Shoemaker up. Eddie Arcaro is on Bold Ruler, the favorite. But it's no day for favorites, and there's real drama in the making. All eyes on the starting gate. And here they come, 9 3-year-olds off and away in the 1 1/4 Classic. It's worth $107,000 to the winner. Ben Jones of Calumet Farm sees his Iron Liege close the gap in the backstretch. Willie Hartack, who was to have ridden General Duke, is on board and doing fine. The top of the stretch, Federal Hill has run out of gas. Iron Liege is ahead with Gallant Man closing the gap. Now watch closely, things happen fast. Willie Shoemaker on Gallant Man has victory in his grasp. Slowly he pulls abreast, then ahead of Iron Liege. Just another 16th to go. Then it happens. Shoemaker misjudges the finish line, stands up in the stirrups, and Iron Liege wins by a nose. Closest Derby finish in 24 years. Iron Liege and Willie Hartack reap roses and riches for Calumet Farms.
All right, panel, we can tell you that our guest is self-employed and deals in a service, and we will begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Is your service one that I might use or enjoy?
Yes.
Is it a service that is extended to all adults?
Yes.
It's available to all adults, yes.
Is it a service that one would find pleasurable?
Yes.
I would think of a circumstance where some might, not be exactly overjoyed, but we would agree that at least they would anticipate pleasure. Would you say it was fair?
Derby Day at Churchill Downs. 13 starters break fast in the 86th consecutive running of the Classic Test for 3-year-olds. Champion, the pre-race favorite, takes an uncharacteristic early lead. 75,000 cheer him on. It's the first outing at the 1 1/4 distance for the top 3-year-olds. Always unpredictable. In the backstretch, Venetian Way, always in contention, moves into commanding position. Bellyache seems to be lacking his earlier power, and Bill Hartack whips Venetian Way on. Venetian Way seems stronger with every stride, with a tremendous show of speed going down to the wire. Venetian Way goes across with a 3.5 length margin to win the $118,000 purse and the coveted wreath of roses.
Do you have a name or a face that would be immediately recognizable to those of us on the panel if we were not blindfolded?
I would think so, yes.
Do you have anything to do whatsoever with the sports world?
Yes.
The 88th running of the Kentucky Derby, the classic in American horse racing, sees an estimated 100,000 horse lovers and picnickers crowded into historic Churchill Downs. When the style parade is finished and the last mint julep downed, it will be time to get down to the business at hand, the run for the roses. Willie Hartack is aboard decidedly. Number 3 is decidedly destined to be the hero today, and he is followed by the favorite, Rydan. Purse money is $162,000, with $119,000 going to the horse who can get home first, 1 1/4 from the start. An extreme long shot lead town is pacing the pack around the first turn, but it's a long way home. Around the final turn and that payoff dash down the stretch, Admiral's Voyage, Sunrise County, Rydan, and a long shot, Roman Line. It looks like those are the horses which will land in the money when decidedly number 3 moves and starts up on the outside. He passes Rydan and then Roman Line. Watch as he thunders home, pulling away. He wins the Roses by more than 2 lengths and chalks up a new Derby record, clipping a full second from the mark set by Whirlaway in 1941. Decidedly is the horse.
Well, would the world of sport with which you are associated be either baseball or horse racing?
Yes.
Would it be horse racing?
Yes.
Are you a famous jockey?
Yes.
Did you win the Kentucky Derby by any chance?
Yes.
The 90th run for the Roses sees number 11, Hillrise, go to the post as the favorite, while the Derby crowd has made Northern Dancer second choice. The race is seen as a duel between these two, and that's just the way it turns out as they go past the clubhouse on the 1.25 mile run. A 15-to-1 shot, Mr. Brick sets the early pace, with Hillrise and Northern Dancer laying back in the pack to bide their time. It's a fast pace, the kind of pace that sets records. They come around the final turn to head down the home stretch, and this is the furlong that separates the champs from the also-rans. Northern Dancer has the lead, with Hillrise mounting a threat in second place. It's one of the most thrilling finishes in Derby history as Northern Dancer hangs on to his lead. Hillrise moves up, but the Little Dancer is over a winner. The first Canadian-bred horse to ever win the Kentucky Derby. Canada can be proud of a real champ.
When you're a jockey in a 16-horse field going 1.25 miles, what is the basic strategy you're thinking about?
There are 3 crucial places in this race where a rider really has to be on his toes. Whether you're a front runner or come from behind horse, you have to get a good start. That's very, very important. You can't live through a bad start. Then there's a big pile up here on a turn, everybody jockeying for positions. The speed horses, they don't want to have a suicide pace. They've got to kind of conserve their horse to get into the turn well. You don't want to lose any ground around the first turn. The horses that come from behind, they have that same alternative. They don't want to lose too much ground around the turn. Going into that far turn, the leaders that are strong, they're going to have to hold their position. To come from behind horses can't afford to go around too many horses, and of course they can't afford to be shut off going between horses. Then of course at the quarter pole, that's where the race begins.
They're moving to the stretch. Majestic Prince on the outside. Arts and Letters is on the inside. Their heads apart. Majestic Prince has the lead by a head now. That's Arts and Letters, and Dyke is moving up very quickly on the outside. They're coming to the finish. Majestic Prince holding that lead. Arts and Letters is driving along the rail, and Dyke is driving on the outside. Majestic Prince is holding on by a head, and he wins it by a head. Arts and Letters is second by a half a length.
Isn't the Kentucky Derby, just for the romance of it, perhaps the most exciting of the races in terms of the crowd and the spirit, the atmosphere that they have at the Derby every year?
Well, traditionally, the Kentucky Derby is the top race of the year. There are a few races that probably net a little more money to the winning horse, but the Derby is actually, as far as all people are concerned, even racegoers and non-racegoers, it is the traditional race of the year. The importance of this race naturally makes it important to me.